You're a bottle of Coke. You're a Harley home. Kentucky bourbon.
Now, what a perfect spot for a little bit of a tasting. I'm sitting right under the Harbour Bridge with the Opera House right behind me. Now, I've always loved my bourbons, but I found it really intimidating when I went on YouTube to watch the tastings because they were always done by old stuffy Scottish guys sitting in the castle talking about aroma and palate and length of finish. I wanted to give you an honest approach from a girl who simply loves her whiskies. Now, when I was over at the Kentucky Bourbon Festival, I had the great honour of meeting the incredibly handsome, talented and very cheeky great-grandson of the one and only Jim Beam. His name was Fred No, and ever since I met him, I really wanted to try this little drop. Now, this bourbon has a lot of history behind it. Fred's father, Booker, wanted to create a bourbon that really celebrated how bourbon used to be drunk. Now, it's one of the only bourbons on the market that is uncut, unfiltered and straight from the barrel, the way bourbon used to be drunk and the way it should be drunk. Now, I'm really not tasting from the proper glass, but hey, this is a glass that most people would maybe drink the bourbon out of. So pour a little bit in there, and I didn't want to be a wanker and talk about the aromas of the bourbon. I saw this guy on YouTube the other day that spent about 10 minutes sticking his nose in there and sniffing away, only to say, a little bit peppery. But this bourbon definitely has a hint of vanilla and smoky charcoal straight away, so I've got to mention that. Now, one thing I used to think about bourbon was the higher the proof, the more smoke came out of your ears. But with Booker Bourbon, it sits between 121 and 127 proof. And I've got to say, it is so smooth. There's no burn, it just gives you that nice warmth in your chest. Now, I can really imagine having this on a cold winter's night as it is, or adding a splash of filtered water, in the summer, just for a nice cool drink. Now, with most bourbons, if you add something to it, it can really water down the flavour. But with Booker's, if you add an ice block or a little splash of water, it really opens up those flavours. Well, I'm just going to sit here enjoying my Booker's, and hopefully you get a chance to try some soon. Now, I'm going to leave you with one of Booker's favourite quotes: "May there be no hell, and if there is, I'll see you there." Now, one thing I always used to think about bourbon I was trying to speak and it's going